What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Erasure. Once again, I'd like to give a big shout out to major friend and champion of the channel, Herman, who has made available all the bonus tunes, and now that I've bookmarked the master release for the deluxe edition of the self-titled album, I can see all the different tracks on the second disc, all the different versions. So ultimately now I have the tracks and I have sort of a legend to go through it. I did want to mention though, I'm going to go through all of them, but there's been a few people asking about Cowboy, and ultimately Adam was very keen to talk about it and he shared a lot of music with me, so I'm going to keep going through these, but I'm going to do it in tandem with Cowboy, so I'm going to kick that off in this same batch, I'm hoping. But the next bonus tune from the second disc of the deluxe edition of the self-titled album, which is a bit of a mouthful, is High Energy. So I expect two things here. One, I expected to play off of that genre, which I didn't really know growing up, but this does relate to like my personal musical history, which is to say, in the mid to late 90s, many people will know, I discovered the rave scene and began going to techno and trance and hardcore parties, eventually getting tables, meaning turntables, and starting to play at said parties. But an artist that I became interested in around the turn of the millennium, because I got very into hard house, which is a, sort of fast and hard, like driving version of the house genre. Well, ultimately, it was called New Energy, like NU, NRG, and so on. And I eventually learned that one of the artists who was making tracks in this mode, or vein, I guess I tried to combine, was Tony DeVitt. And he ultimately remixed a couple tracks from some other artists that I'm fond of. His track Are You Already was like a big splash in the hard house scene. And I eventually learned, and he unfortunately died. He passed away, I think, at like age 40. He was quite young. But that he had been a resident at like Heaven, where I think High Energy was played, as well as like Trade after that. And I think at Trade is when he began to like move toward what we now call hard house, although it was like mid 90s, whereas I would discover it a few years later, like late 90s. In any case, I am aware of the genre as being a precursor of some of the electronic sounds that I would encounter in the 90s. And again, I think Tony DeVitt was like sort of an icon in the like high energy, like gay scene, at least at Heaven. Like I remember reading this, there was like a bio, like when he passed away, on like in a bunch of like, rave magazines and so on. I remember reading something to that effect. In any case, I would expect it to maybe play off of the genre High Energy, which I understand to be a sort of fast and, slightly more technified or techno-heading version of disco. Like it was disco, but with more like looped vocals and like maybe more up-tempo energy. But I would also expect it to play off of the concept of high energy, like as a pun, like having energy the way you're engaging with someone. A lot of Erasure songs are about romance, or at least psycho-emotional feelings of infatuation and, sexual relationships. So I feel like it could play off of the phrase, not just as a musical genre, but as a like literal, the semantic meaning of the words, or the acronym, I suppose. In any case, and in fact it's not an acronym, because NRG doesn't stand for something. It's like a shortened, like, stylized version of energy. I talk too much. Let's listen to it. This is Erasure High Energy, a bonus tune included, and again, I think originally a B-side, though as I look at the metadata for the track, it doesn't show. Yeah, it says it's from the double CD deluxe edition of the self-titled album, which came out in 2022, just a year ago. Once again, shout out to Herman. But it doesn't say that it's the B-side of anything in particular, at least that I see. But in any case, let's listen to Vince and Andy, Erasure, and their track High Energy, a bonus tune from the era of the self-titled album, 1995.
High energy, your love is lifting me. Oh, yeah. High energy, your love is lifting me. Lifting me high.
So is he holding that, or is that extended, like?
Hey.
Vince is another artist whose bass lines I am very fond of. They have electric vivacity. Kind of like a jazzy synth player too, though. Feels like a disco tune mixed with like a spaghetti western soundtrack. Hey! And then what happened? I was thinking that. I like that little kind of tin pot percussive rhythm. I do like this part probably explodes on the dance floor. Oh. But that's like the energy thing, right? I was waiting to hear that again. Now we get it more steadily. A bit of a like chip tune feel with that. I love it. But also a synth symphony with this more like computerish sounding melody. Little buzzing layer in there too. What do you need? Here's the question, does it just stop? Does it like explode stop? Or do we get another recurrence of the chorus? Didn't quite end the way I thought it would though. And it's like a fade. I thought it would get to the top of that and just... Either way, really cool tune, absolute like foot stomper, you know, head bobber, fist pumper. Definitely makes me want to dance on the dance floor. It definitely think it was playing off of the energy idea, and ultimately, you know, I feel like you could do a workout to that and you'd lose a lot of calories. But yeah, love the sonic elements. It's like, number one, I was thinking during the part of the track, they're like, man, it would sound different, including vocally, but I could hear Neil and Chris. I could hear the Pet Shop Boys doing a track like this. Either way, the tune has elements that like speak to my own musical interest from the 90s, but it's not that, right? Like, it's still different. Again, it's not hard house or, you know, acid trance or whatever from the mid 90s, but there's aspects there that, you know, the way the track plays out, the chronology, the arrangement of the tune, like in terms of its progression, that fit very much with a lot of like techno and trance conventions, which of course are built off of genres like high energy. So it's like, in a way, it feels like this tune is paying homage to like the earlier, you know, I guess, what, mid to late 80s? Was it early 80s? I guess it'd be early 80s, right? So yeah, it feels like it's paying homage to the 80s high energy, but it's also, you know, using conventions from the mid 90s when it's released, and when other musical genres that have developed from high energy are proliferating, and on some level and in some respect is inspiring a young Shnootz to, you know, get more and more into the dance scene. Although again, I discovered acid techno and acid trance like 96, so 97, 98. It wasn't until maybe like late 98 that I really started getting into hard house, and for the next few years I listened to it as much as acid trance and hard trance. So again, it's interesting to me to start going through material from groups I knew in the 80s when they were releasing material in the 90s, when, you know, at least for some groups I had stopped following them. I wasn't paying attention to what they were doing. It's like, man, I would have been interested in this, you know, like for whatever reason they had fallen off my radar, but if I had discovered this in 95, 96, whatever, I would have been interested. So shout out to Vince and Andy, shout out to Herman once again for sharing this, shout out to Adam. Again, I will start going through the Cowboy album at the same time as we go through these bonus tunes. So yeah, more Erasure coming, more everything coming. I know there's still a number of deep dives I haven't restarted since the holiday break. I will try to get through everything, and again, I encourage people not to like view the different deep dives as if like doing two from one without having done a single one from another is somehow like a value judgment. I just, you know, the way I go through everything, it's always going to be a bit idiosyncratic, and sometimes I feel like, oh, I haven't done this group in a long time, so I want to do two, and I haven't done this one in a while, but I also want to do this, and like, you know, I just try to balance everything as much as I can. I appreciate the patience, and again, I will try to restart all the deep dives that were going before. There's still other ones that are, you know, yet to start or are sitting in the like to-do folder that I have, so lots more coming on the channel. Shout out to all those sharing music and just continuing on these musical journeys with me as we go into 2024, and I will see you next time. Peace.